We're going to go to countdown. 2, 3, 1, countdown. I hate doing the show open with the countdown while I do the title and it thinks about itself and it just kind of just goes about and kind of whatever. Make sure I got everything set up. I got the Alpha Pick screenshot. I got the Seeking Alpha Premium screenshot. I got the bundle. I've got Trendspider up there. I've got that all set. Good morning, Rosa. Chase. I got Linktree. Let's put up the pinned comment again. All links here. Thumbs up. And check out all the links here. Wah, wah, paste. We're gonna pin that comment. Sorry I'm late, but morning, Camilo. Now I get to spend time, so I'm not rushed. I'm not rushed today. It's a Friday. We get a good day. You know what? It's a good enough day. I do need to go to this one kind of shocks me. I'm not going to go over it, but excessive expectations on iPhone. I mean, to me, I think Apple's a $260 stock until it can prove that the iPhone is as huge as they say they are. But so that if you walk into an Apple store this weekend and you see just lines, then this was a mistake. I mean, it's just an analyst thing. Kind of goes to I think I'm following the quiz. No, I'm not. Weekly quiz. Let's look the headlines. I know I've got the weekly quiz following. Oh, you know what? Let me show you how to do the newsletter. Because yesterday, I went into, I think I posted it yesterday. Let's see. Where's the weekly quiz? Created that. There we go. So you can just go here and the installment, Friday, October 3rd. Let's get this link and we'll put it here. And I'll put this down here. Oh, you know what? I'm going to change I got to change it to a Seeking Alpha URL and generate, copy, boom. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I got the quiz. I had a 10 out of 10. But, I mean, that's what the newsletter is for, is kind of the cliff notes of yes. And what's interesting, Josh, is that the action button. So down here, you get to program what this button does on the iPhone. And I think default wise, it comes to, it defaults to just the camera. But you could literally use it as a quote unquote Siri-like device and just use it as ChatGPT. In fact, let me go to Twitter, because there's a way, I think it was ChatGPT or something. I think I posted it last night. And it was the last thing I did. Yeah, you can use Grok as just the assistant. So press and hold this button. Oh, it's the upper left-hand one. Open settings, swipe to shortcut, select talk to Grok, press and hold for the assistant. It's so much better than Siri. So they have Apple Intelligence on there is kind of what I'm seeing, that Apple Intelligence is irrelevant to the actual device. Now, Apple Intelligence will insert it into your life. So it's a little bit different, but I have to renew some of my alerts. But yeah, it's a little bit different. I did not sell Apple at the high. I have sold Apple. I think I put it in here. Did I put it in here? No, I have sold Apple. So since I started selling Apple, and I think it was around 2022, I sold in October of 2022, and that was around 150. I did sell in 2023 at the high at around 200 because it bounced back. I sold again in 2023 at 200. Then I don't think I sold in 2024 until December. If I'm not mistaken, it was 260 and I sold a lot. And my accountant who I met with yesterday, he's like, "Are you selling Apple again in December?" I said, "I don't know, maybe." But I did sell at 260. And then throughout this year, I have sold it at 240, 220, and 200. And the only time I buy it again, Mark, is when they pay a dividend. I think I get like $5 or $6 grand in dividends because I have so many shares. Yeah, you can figure that out, but that's when I buy it. So when they pay a dividend, it automatically reinvests the dividends. And I like that. And by the way, speaking of my own personal portfolio, since people are enamored with that, the Webull portfolio shot up yesterday. So remember it was kind of trapped. This was down when Bitcoin was down to around, I want to say 12 and change. If I were like 20 years old and I had $1,000 and I could turn it into $14,000, I mean, that's the risk tolerance that I talk about. Is I can't trade a multi-million-dollar portfolio the way I can $1,000 portfolio. I can take a lot more risk with $1,000 portfolio. Now, if that's all your money, then it's a little scary. It's the same kind of risk, but knowing what I know and the kind of chutzpah, since yesterday was Yom Kippur, the chutzpah, I think I can trade it pretty well. So let's do some scans. I mean, we haven't done scans this whole week. Let's look. Wow. We had a good day yesterday. I'm going to put them in there for the weekend. What the hell? FBCG, which is one of my favorite ETFs. Probably not the most cost effective, but it is. VOO and QQQ both get entries in the 4-hour algorithm. So that's a good looking chart. I mean, you can't argue with it. And by the way, Penny is just fucking on fire today. Let's look at AI energy stocks. Are there any in here? TLN? We'll put in TLN. I think that's in the watch list too. I will be this weekend updating the watch list for anybody who's scanning to include, I haven't done it in Trendspider, but they should be in there. But it will include the August, September, and October watch list, and I'm going to trim it down a little bit. We can look at the buys here. Oh, there we go. This is the May watch list that I think I put out. I think I shared it. You got AVGO, Granny, Nebius with a buy, Cloudflare, Palantir. I mean, the watch list is going to be huge with buys. So, I don't care about leveraged ETFs. Let's see Vanguard. Vanguard's going to have a couple. It's pretty much everything. I'm not going to put that in there. The watch list is probably going to have most everything because we are in a crazy market. Abercrombie and Finch, just to piss people off. Doc N. That one was interesting. I saw that one, news about DigitalOcean, ETN. GLW, MongoDB, Nebius, scroll down, Cloudflare, Palantir, PayPal. PayPal, QuantumScape, Shop we have in there, Texaco, TLN, and Twilio. Let's look at the spider sectors. Let's see. XLG. The top 50. Morning, Wendy. Index. Cat, we've gotten there already. I think I've got it. Yeah, I've got it in there. Caterpillar's getting a bid now based on AI, and I'm not sure that I buy it, but I mean, it's a good stock chart. A little bit stretched, but it's a good stock chart. NASDAQ 100, ASML, CTSH, Fortinet, which I told Dad we didn't want to buy any more of. Picard. Okay, let's look at the S&P because that's going to include some banks. I actually think the banks are the most undervalued sector that might get a bid. No banks in there. I've been waiting all year for the banks to get a bid, and we just haven't seen it. I mean, they've done well. Make no mistake, they've outpaced, I think, the S&P. Let's see. Let's go to market data, and we will look at XLF, which is up year-to-date 10%, and the S&P is year-to-date up 14%, so they haven't outpaced. The sectors that have outpaced, let's see, we've got utilities, industrials, communication, and technology. XLY is one of my largest ETF holdings. XLY and XLK are the two that I continue to just hold. And, you know, hey, we've got market open. Let me check my Fidelity account like I like to do. I have somebody's calling me. I don't want to pick up your phone call. No. Potential spam. Let's check Fidelity. I gotta get my Face ID in. So the market, I do like the Fidelity app for some reason. The market is up 0.2, but I'm down 0.18, and that is all Apple. I can guarantee you Apple being down 1% is killing my portfolio. Yeah, Apple's down 1%. So you live and die by the sword that you yield. But here's what we're going to go over. We're going to go over the weekly quiz. I took it. I think it's probably going to show you some answers there, but I got 10 out of 10. So it's a humble brag this morning. We're going to go over crypto because Bitcoin retook 120,000. I don't know anything about crypto, but I'll kind of give you my strategy on it. I got an alert yesterday about BMNR, and if you haven't bought that one, find a strategy. I mean, find a an intake, because if you had put your $1,200 stimulus check into Bitcoin back in 2020, you'd be up a lot. Again, it's free money. It's not supposed to come to you. It's literally like, George Costanza in Seinfeld. He gets the money from from his bank account from like 1975 or something, where he was putting 50 cents a day in. And now it's $2,000. He's like, I want to parlay it. I want to parlay it into Bitcoin. So Larry, oh, by the way, Larry, my thoughts on BMNR, and here it is outright. And this is just a very simplistic view of things. But I believe Tom Lee when he told us that every dollar that you invest in Bitmine immersion, that they can buy $3 of Ethereum. And so I want to buy it under 50. Will you get another chance to buy it under 50? I believe you will. It is at 56.60. So I put that 50 line in there for myself so that when the next time it dips down, I got an alert yesterday, like I posted here. I got an alert BMNR to buy, and I had the alert set up. And did I buy yesterday? I didn't. I probably should, because it's got a 100% win rate. Now, mind you, it only started back testing here. So it hasn't gone, this hasn't been around for a long time since Tom Lee got involved. That's where you see that spike. So when you look at the performance of 63% versus 614 down there, realize that's 120 days. 120 days. And it's 100% win rate because you've only had 3 times where it's gotten you in. It's gotten you out with a 45% gain and a 12% gain. And this $56 one so far, it's a slight gain when you're trading at 56.50. But the reason I'm buying this is because I made a mistake over the years. And I don't want to say it was a mistake. But while the 4-hour algorithm on MicroStrategy doubles buy and hold, I still would have been okay with 963% over 2 years. I mean, I'm just saying, I did not like this buy. I wouldn't have got into. We never had confirmation. Now, this pump, did I get in? No, I don't regularly trade MicroStrategy. So, and part of this is Bitcoin doesn't have functionality. Ethereum does. And I trust me, there are people who know way more about crypto, and you can correct me in the comments if you'd like. I won't listen to you. The reality of it is, this is what I know about crypto, and this is my comfort level. Ethereum is going to tokenize, that when the banks start tokenizing, like Vlad talks about, which by the way, here we go. That's the story that I'm leading into this with. When banks start tokenizing, like Robinhood did with OpenAI and SpaceX, you're going to see Ethereum probably skyrocket, because that's the platform that they're going to build tokenization on. So, and that's what I know about it. And so am I throwing, $1 million into this? No. But I do have like 5% of my net worth in there. So it's a 6-figure position. And it's split up. It's not BMNR. I own Coinbase, because that's where all of IBIT and the ETFs are storing their crypto. So no matter what crypto it is, they're storing. Fidelity is storing. I think Fidelity may be moving from Coinbase to their own storage. But I know IBIT and iShares and stuff, like they're storing it at Coinbase. So they store it at Coinbase. So I figured Coinbase is a good one. And yesterday, Coinbase was one of the, again, if you look at, and I brought this up so many times for people, to quote JD Vance, have you said thank you? But Coinbase was putting in that platform right there at about 300. And so the 4-hour algorithm got you in here at 330. That's a nice move so far. So I was adding to it during this time when it was just kind of plateauing right there. I also own BMNR. I own ETHA. When I did my research, that was the one that I chose. So I own that one. And I own IBIT. And so those are my crypto plays that I can remember off the top of my head. I did not add during this 3254. Even though I should have, but I added during that 3424 one, and that little loss of 7% scared me, so I didn't buy it here. And the reason I didn't buy it is the weekly. I mean, it's just the weekly. The weekly MACD is super high and the RSI is super high. And again, seasonality, it makes me a little scared. So, but I've got enough of it. I've got, a good amount of ETHA. So the tokenization is why I'm there. We had a CEO last night on CNBC who was just touting. This was up like 100% yesterday, 180%. I mean, it was crazy. We'll look at that because it's got to do with MP materials. You want nuclear? Here are 5 ETFs for you to research. And FYI, Steve Kress does the research for you. So pick your choice. And I went over wild. I'm going to go over, I'll show you how to use the newsletter to look up any stocks that you may want to research. Dan Ives put out his pick for AI-related M&A. It's probably stuff to put in a watch list. We'll go over Tesla because Tesla was crazy. We will go over my thought process on Tesla because they did beat deliveries. We will go over gold because I had somebody ask me about gold yesterday. So I basically did what anybody else should be doing. Don't ask a douche on the internet. Go and do your own research kind of stuff. We hit all-time highs again. Well, Ryan's telling you what happens when you hit all-time highs. Government shutdown. This was from Robinhood. And I'm much more positive about Robinhood now that I have the product than I used to be. But Wall Street ended on the green day 2 of the shutdown. So the shutdown is going on, blah, blah, blah. Hit the thumbs up button, by the way, if you haven't already. We're going to go over this. And I haven't looked, again, it's 5 minutes since I looked at the market. But this would be the time, by the way, that if I were trading in this market, this would be the time when I'm trading because the volatility is going to be there. By the way, the Alpha Picks portfolio today, it's up 1%. Up 1% right now. The biggest winners, AppLovin, which they just trimmed, Carnival Cruise Line, which I said, hey, buy the dip. The actual stock that was the pick on September 15th, September 15th. I'm up 15%. I mean, just buy it, and, hold your nose. Credo's up 2%. Yeah, there's a lot. The one that I just bought on October 1st, FYI, 5% gain. I have officially paid for double 2 Alpha Picks portfolios. So if you're questioning whether you should get Alpha Picks or not, if you had just put in, for me, a relatively small buy, it's not a big one, but it was, it's a good amount of money. 10 years ago, I'd have freaked if you told me, holy shit, I'm gambling with that amount of money just based on an Alpha Pick portfolio. Yeah, I'd be scared. But hey, I paid for the Alpha Picks portfolio. So, and FYI, UNFI is up another 1.3%. So stuff that I brought up before. And Apple has turned positive. It does seem like it's a buy the dip market. How the hell has Apple turned positive? I mean, just go to a 5-minute chart. Look at when that downgrade came out, and then look at the open. Good God. There is a lot of money to buy the dip. So start off with QQQ. Because again, we're in a government shutdown, and what does the market do? Kind of drops as you see at 6 o'clock, and the market opens, and boom. My guess, let me just look at the 4-hour. Where would I say that we would end the day? I think you're going to end the day. God, I want to say down. We can't continue up like this, but morning, Travis. I don't know. Let me record this podcast. Okay. I've got everything up there. Good morning. It is Friday, October 3rd. My apologies for being late to the YouTube live crowd, but I gave them a bunch. So if you want to see extra kind of banter and questions, we went over Apple. I went over BMNR. I went over how to set up ChatGPT or Grok on your phone, your iPhone. There was a lot. So you can literally just go to Linktree, or you can go to the youtube.com @dailystockpick. And when I'm live, you'll see this photo. Okay, you'll see that photo that's up top there. When I change it to the thumbnail of that day. But there's a playlist, and there are a bunch of playlists. I set them up. I have the video course series there, the tools that I use, including Trendspider. If you ever want to see about seeking alpha or anything, shorts, those are useless. Live extended podcast, that's where I just go live at 8:30 in the morning. And if you don't want to watch all the banter and stuff, you just want the podcast, it's right there. Okay. And I used to do these 1-minute stock analysis. I may start doing them again. But again, that's how you get to it. And Linktree has it all. It's right up here, literally across the top, all the socials are. So not only are these sales, but this is how to get in contact with me and blah, blah, blah. So Linktree is the central hub for all of this. I will go over a lot because we had another record close. Day 2 of government shutdown in the market saying, F you, I don't care. We'll go over what the shutdown means. Robinhood sent me a great note last night. I will read that one. The October watch list is continuing to kill it. We'll go over a couple of stocks there. Tesla shocked the world and delivered nearly 500,000 vehicles. I think it may be 800,000, but they're not going to hit their year-end goal. I will give you my thesis and how I look at Tesla and what I do. And by the way, the ETF Wild, which I brought up last week, we'll go over how to look that up in the newsletter because I want to show you which date I posted it on. And nuclear power, we'll go over some ETFs there. There is you've heard about rare earths. Well, there's a new company with rare earth, and maybe the government is starting to take another position in another company. And then we'll end the day with crypto and the Seeking Alpha Weekly Chris, because crypto is going nuts. Because yes, if you'd like to join me on Webull in this little journey where I have $1,000. Again, Webull is down here. Join Webull. Get free stocks. My Webull account, I am very open with it. It started at $1,000. It's now at $14,000, $14,500. Okay? Mostly crypto. If you remember last week, that was down around 12,000, 11,000. The swings will come. So we'll go over all of that. But let's look at the charts. Again, the market's open because I'm late. It's 9:45. We've got green candles. Apple got downgraded and then it winds up turning green. So we are in a buy the dip market. Right now, government doesn't care about, the market doesn't care about the shutdown. Wall Street ended in green. Day 2 of the government shutdown. Does anybody care? Well, let's take a look at some of the things that shutdowns do. So this is a note from Robinhood that I got last night. And I have changed my mind on the app on Robinhood. I actually like the app. It's been pretty good. But I want to point to you the end part of this. Shutdowns are disruptive, but history suggests they're more noise than lasting damage. Right now, we see the biggest inconvenience being delayed data, which we didn't get the jobs number, unpaid for now federal workers, which does pose a problem. Mortgages may be late. Maybe they can't pay their credit cards. Maybe for some reason they cut back on spending. We are a spending economy. That could be a problem. But it's a lot of political theater. And FYI, if you're watching the news, don't. Expect a little noise, but remember that markets have seen this movie before. So that's why they're holding up. It's not because it's nothing. It's because if this lasts 9 or 10 days, everybody's happy. If it goes on for a while, nobody may be happy. But here's the thing. When the S&P makes a new high in October, and make no mistake, yesterday, October 3rd, was October, but when it makes a new high in October, the fourth quarter as a whole is up more than 90% of the time. That's not somebody's talking head opinion. That's actual facts and numbers. Know the difference when you're looking at data. Somebody's opinions, if I were to say, it's for sure Q4 is going to be up, that's an opinion. This has you at 9 out of 10 times. So is it likely? Yes. The word likely needs to be in there because the market will humble you. Okay? We could see a complete crash and you could see everything come tumbling down in the fourth quarter. But we're in a bull market until you're not. And so when you look at a weekly chart of just QQQ, yes, I have pointed out before, these indicators, the RSI and the MACD, are extended. Do I want to buy up here? It doesn't feel comfortable. But if I'm looking a year from now and my buy from now, if I'm going to buy now and then it goes down in December, my thesis wasn't right. My thesis is for long term. So my thesis, if I'm going to buy now, is a year. Let's go back a year to September 30th, 2024. I guarantee you, you take yourself back in time and you say, oh God, the Qs are nearly at 500. It's at 488. I don't know what's going to happen. Trump, maybe wins the election, or maybe even more horrifying, Kamala wins the election if you're in that camp. I didn't care who won. Honestly, it didn't matter. It was bad for me, would have been bad either way. But you just play the market that you have. And so if your thesis in September of 2024 was, hey, Trump's going to win, the market's going to go up. If your thesis was Kamala's going to win and the market's going to crash, don't buy. Don't buy. So if your thesis right now is Trump is going to continue his tariff play and the market's going to crash, or AI is the bottom's going to come out, don't buy. But if your thesis is the market is strong, we are 2-3 weeks away from actual earnings season, which earnings past season was super strong. We're seeing Apple, which is one of the largest, I think it's the second or third largest company at the current point between Microsoft and Nvidia. We're seeing that kind of play out as a very good stock. We're seeing Tesla deliveries way up. We're seeing the S&P earnings as an overall grow. We're seeing a weak dollar. Again, where's the narrative that you want in your mind? Because I'm not going to put it there. You've got to put it there yourself. So I want to go over alpha picks now. And I know I talk about this a lot, okay? But I want to go over this a little bit because I brought up a stock on Monday. Okay, that's part of the Alpha Picks portfolio. By the way, if you want the Alpha Picks portfolio, I suggest Premium and Alpha Picks together just because it saves you $159. And again, the dollar amount, when I'm going to show you this stock, it's been a winner. And by the way, the Alpha Pick that we just got on October 1st, I just paid for 2 Alpha Picks subscriptions by putting money into that specific stock. Doesn't always happen, but I'm going to bring you this stock right here. Okay? This is an Alpha Pick that I brought up on Monday because it was the lead performer in my portfolio on Monday. And I was like, ooh, this one's finally coming back. Picked back in March. We'll go over the chart. But look at the 5 days on this one. It's up 16% in 5 days. Could you pay for Alpha Picks with a 16% gain? Probably. Now, it is a hold. It's a hold in the quant. But I want to take you how I look at these things and why I bought it in the 4-hour algorithm, okay? Well, you look at this, okay? The quant updates nightly, and it gives a grade on valuation, growth, profitability, momentum, and revision changes, okay? The revision changes are just the monkeys on Wall Street guiding you. But I like the valuation, growth, profitability, and I like the momentum the most. And when I took a look at this back, Monday, it was around here. The quant hadn't changed, but the quant score was started to go up. Okay. And what was the letter changing? Well, when you look at it back here, the valuation went from an F to a D. And then you took a look at it. And the other one that changed specifically was profitability. From a C plus to a B minus. Is that a big move? No. But then I went over and I said, as that started happening, I said, hey, let me set an alert in Trendspider. Because I had already started, because the letter changes were changing, I had started adding back here. And I said this one was putting in a floor between earnings and it dipped. I lost money on that one, but I didn't trade it. I just added to it. And I didn't add big. As this one got me confirmation, I did add a little bigger. And as this one got me more, just here on September 29th, I think that's when I put it in the newsletter. But again, I added even more. Why? It had confirmation. Boom. 15% in just 2 days. I traded sideways for months looking for a direction. This is where you take Alpha Picks and Trendspider together, or whatever chart program you have. Because the reason why I was so confident in buying this, and I didn't necessarily want to trade it, was because of the return down here in the bottom. 236% with the 4-hour algorithm versus 261 with the asset performance. If you just bought this 24.6 months ago and you held it, you made 261%. So am I perfectly fine buying and holding? Well, look at where Alpha Picks bought it. They bought it down here, and it has been a loser in the Alpha Pick up until just recently. It hasn't been a huge gainer, but I've been able to add this one to the portfolio, and I say it a couple of times. Alpha Picks and Trendspider, they are perfect together. You can't get a bundle. The bundle is premium and Alpha Picks together, but if you add Trendspider on top of that and you use my link, you get the 4-hour algorithm, and it's all on Linktree. Go and check out these tools, because this is what's making me money in this market. And I want to point out the newsletter, the October watch list down here, right here. Okay. I'm going to bring up a couple of things here. The watch list was up 1.63% yesterday. The total for 2 days, it's up 2.46%. One of the ETFs that I chose in this watch list, it's up 9.3% in just 2 days, while 2 stocks are up 6%. Yes, there are losers. The worst performer, down 9%. There's another one that's down 4%, but the winners are greatly outpacing the losers. Ironically, the one that's down 4%, it has a 4.99 quant rating in the quant. Okay? So if you have the watch list, go and check out the watch list if you're a paid subscriber. Don't think that you need to pay for this, though. Again, I bring up all of these on the podcast. I just bring them together so that paid members can add them to their watch list, choose 4 or 5 of them, and start to do it for a month and see what you get. Because September and August were very successful. And I want to point out to you, okay, I got a letter yesterday from somebody that said, hey, what's your thesis on gold? And by the way, they tipped me. Usually I don't give my thesis, but this particular person sent me a nice Venmo here with, and PayPal and Cash App. You can do it right here on Linktree. And so they said, what's your thesis on gold? I gave them my thesis. So my thesis on gold, and I've said this before on this podcast, you can do this in AI. So I basically went to Perplexity, and you don't have to pay for Perplexity. This is free. I said, I want to invest in gold with S&P 500 stocks or an ETF. My thesis on gold is that with the U.S. debt and other country debt rising and other countries buying gold instead of U.S. bonds, the price of gold is going to rise. Is that correct? And if that's correct thesis that I can expect to play out, can you give me 3 top ideas on how, what stocks or ETFs to invest in for the next 2 to 5 years? I did a 3-year chart of GLD versus the S&P, and I see gold is actually outperforming. This is where Seeking Alpha comes in handy. Pull up GLD, go to the charting, go to the 3-year chart. Look, gold is up 125% versus the S&P up 82%. Now, when you zoom out a little bit, gold isn't outperforming. But when you pull in, look at the year to date. Gold is up 47%. So this thesis, and if you don't know what to ask about gold, tell AI you don't know what to ask. But it tells me your thesis that the rising debt is correct. And it gives me gold versus the S&P. Most forecast and analyst commentary of 2025 suggests gold is likely to maintain its performance advantage over the S&P. And here are top investment ideas. It gives you the ETF of GLD, IAU, gold mining. It gives you the miners, the mining ETFs. And here's some stocks: Newmont, gold, FNV. Check them out. Again, this is how you use the internet to your advantage. This isn't a paid tool. I am not giving you perplexity. Hey, sign up for this. This is absolutely 100% free. So, like JD Vance says, have you said thank you lately? Let's talk about my thesis on Tesla. Okay? Tesla blew it away with Q3 deliveries. It was down 11% yesterday, something like that. This could be the canary in the coal mine. Why? Because when Tesla has been up like this, up near all-time highs, when it's been up at this level, guess when the last time it was up here? Well, it was November 2021. 2022, you went into a tailspin in the Qs. Well, you're up there again. By the way, December 2024, what happened? Liberation Day. We took a nosedive. Is this the canary in the coal mine again? I don't know. Don't expect this one, these deliveries, to stay at this level, okay? I almost bought a Performance Model Y on the night of September 30th. They were doing a deal where you could order it, but you didn't need to take delivery, and they'll have it available for you later this year. And the new Model Y Performance, it has everything that I want. And I was like, ooh, maybe I should upgrade. I decided not to do it for different reasons, but I liked it. There will be people, a lot of people in the Tesla Facebook group that I was looking at, they were buying and putting in their $250 non-refundable deposit in order to buy it. That's all you had to do. So expect Q4 deliveries to probably be similar, but it's not going to make up for the lack of growth of this company. And that's the problem. It's not anything other than the growth. The valuation has never mattered in this. But when you look at revenue growth, they're down 2% year over year. That's the problem. So what's my thesis on this? Okay. Well, let's first go. Dan Ives, he's putting it out there that he thinks this could be a $1 trillion payday, this could move to $3 trillion by the end of 2026. He says it can reach a $2 trillion market cap in early 2026 and $3 trillion by the end of 2026. By the way, let's go look at the market cap. It's 1.445 trillion. If he thinks it can be $3 trillion by the end of next year, you're doubling this stock price. So what's my thesis on Tesla? It's not a car company. It's an AI company. This is going to be robots, and this is going to be the cyber cab. And so that's what you're investing in. So cars, if your thesis on Tesla is cars, get the F out. Because that's not the thesis. It's going to be AI and robots. And if you're nervous, about the volatility in Tesla and you're scared, use the 4-hour algorithm. I just brought it up. Look at that. 101% over 24 months. Whereas if you bought it and held it, you're up 81%. Now, I have made a mistake in the past where I didn't use the 4-hour algorithm. I kind of trusted my gut sometimes. So I buy and hold a small amount of Tesla, but I also hold quite a bit of XLY, okay? And when it gets up to this point, I start to trim the XLY. And why do I own XLY? Because XLY, 40% of this is between Amazon and Tesla. Simple as that. I can get the benefit of Amazon and Tesla in an ETF that also holds 53 total names. It holds 51 other names that I can participate in. Now XLY, it basically meets buy and hold. So I take these suggestions of this 6% gain. I take it as a guide, not as an absolute. So there's my thesis on Tesla. You don't have to have that thesis. Come up with your own. Make the mistakes that I have made, because I've made a lot of mistakes in this stock. Had I bought, instead of paying $65,000 for my Model 3 in 2018, that would be close to $1 million today. I bought the car instead of the stock. And I traded the stock, and I didn't have the 4-hour algorithm back then. So I didn't have this safety of saying, ooh, I should get out during this time and I should add during this time. Use the tools that you have. Find a strategy. Make the mistakes. Now, here is Dan Ives' thing. Dan Ives is putting out a list of mergers and acquisitions in the AI space. Okay? 10B, QLYS, AI, Lyft, Trip, SanDisk. I've brought up SanDisk before. SanDisk has been on a tear. Is this going to get bought up? Look at that one. 4-hour algorithm had you in at 44. Where are you today? 132, 300% gain. The 4-hour algorithm makes you 217% versus 139%. Again, it's only 7 months. This has only had 4 positions. You can see them right here because it just started back testing right there. Didn't get you in during the beginning, but it got you in here at 34, 11% gain, 7% gain. You lost 1 of 5%. And then you took off. So is that one going to get bought up? Maybe. And it could push it a little bit. Now, I brought up this one. Okay. I want to go to the newsletter. This is the ETF Wild. 70% in 3 months. It holds CoreWeave, Coinbase, MicroStrategy, Palantir, and NVIDIA. It changes its holdings every month to the 5 most widely traded stocks that have the strongest score on an investor sentiment and momentum. This is a crazy momentum 2x strategy. And I brought this one up in the newsletter. If we go and look at this one, again, here are the 9 holdings that it holds. It holds options to 2x it. And if you look at this over 1 month, it's up 59%. Okay? Its assets under management, 2.89 million. By the way, my net worth, significantly higher than that. I have more money than this has assets under management. So be aware, filling these orders might be a little bit difficult. But if you look at this, again, the 4-hour algorithm, where'd it get you in? Wild down here. Let's pull this out. It got you in here, September 9th, at about $22. You're at 37. Use the tools that you have. And one of the tools is my newsletter. So if you go up here on the newsletter and you just type in this, type in WILD, okay? It should pull up the last time I brought up Wild, which looks like it's September 23rd. September 23rd. Let's just scroll down and we'll look for it. Let's see. I went over Trendspider Sidekick. I went over the fall plans. There's everything with the sale that was going on. Is it a bubble? History repeats itself. Alpha picks. It's down in here somewhere. There's Apple. There's NVIDIA. There is, let's see, 10 stocks to watch this deal on. TLN. Did I just pass Wild? I think I may have just passed it. APLD, Applied Materials, that's one that I missed. BMNR, let's see, a few retail traders. Yeah, Grab, Better Home and Garden. I must have missed it. But this was one where I put in a whole bunch of like YOLO ones. But it's September 23rd. But if you have a sticker that you want to see if I've gone over, just type in the dollar symbol and you'll find a bunch of emails, a bunch of stuff with that those tickers in there. But this one, put it on a watch list. Now, AI is all about power. What about nuclear power? Steve Kress gives you 5 nuclear ETFs to power your portfolio. Here they are up in the upper right-hand corner if you want to see them. Okay? Go and research them. But Steve Kress has done the research for you. If you have Seeking Alpha Premium, you can read his entire research. Simple as that. Power is needed for all of this stuff. You know what else is needed? Rare earths. And you're seeing this one. USAR, okay, US Rare Earth. The CEO was on CNBC yesterday, and the stock went nuts. It was up like 100% something. Let's just look at USAR, the chart, because it goes parabolic. Again, 4-hour algorithm had you in here at $13.76. Let's just see. If you bought it down here, $13.76, you're up 100% in 22 days. It's gone crazy. Why? Because this is like MP Materials. MP Materials went nuts. 6 months, you're up 197%. Okay? This went from a $6 billion company to a $12 billion company, literally overnight, with the U.S. government taking a stake in it. Is USAR, they haven't taken a stake in it. Is this the next one to run? Well, it's already kind of run. And FYI, this one is only a $2 billion company. But 6 months ago, it was a $1 billion company. So it's doubled, simply almost the same as MP Materials. Now, Wall Street thinks that USAR is a strong buy at a 5 out of 5. 4 analysts that cover it, but they say the price is worth $19. So don't chase the hype, but maybe trade the chart. And I would say with the volatility on something like this, trade it on shorter time frames. That would be my guide to myself. Now, I want to talk about crypto. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I really am not. And when I talk about crypto, anybody that knows about crypto is going to say I'm dumb. Because I am. I've made a ton of mistakes with crypto. Did I buy and hold MicroStrategy? No. Did I trade it effectively with the 4-hour algorithm? Yes. Yes, I've done it in the past. But was it as effective as this 4-hour algorithm tells you? No. I haven't made over the past 24 months 1,837% because this doesn't fit my risk profile. I'm not getting in and out every time. So, tokenization. Let's talk about tokenization and my next step, okay? Vlad is telling you, tokenization will eat the global financial system. He basically gives you this. And here's a Seeking Alpha article that explains it in terms that I can understand. I think the financial system would be largely willing to go through this transition, he said on Bloomberg yesterday. Okay, in June, Robinhood tokenized stocks like OpenAI and SpaceX for their on-chain version of their US counterpart. They hold the stocks and then they put them on their own blockchain and they let you buy them. That's what's going on. And by the way, it's all going on with the Ethereum platform. Okay, ETHA is my Ethereum play. But just like I just brought up, MicroStrategy, I think it's got a bigger, here's the thing about Ethereum. I think it's got a bigger market play than Bitcoin, but Bitcoin actually has a supply-demand issue. So I'm playing Bitcoin for the supply and demand issue, but I'm playing Ethereum for the functionality of tokenizing the system. And Ethereum, ETHA is the ETF that I have, but Tom Lee's BMNR is one that I've got on there, okay? And let me just point this out to you. Had you bought Bitcoin when during COVID, when you got your $1,400 stimulus check or your $1,200 stimulus check, whatever it was, back in 2020, it's worth $21,000 today. This is free money. So if you have to pay off bills, pay off bills. Be smart about it. But if you're just getting free money and you're just going to stick it in the bank, YOLO it. That's what I typically did. Now I sold my GBTC during this time and I made a mistake. I shouldn't have sold it. But my thesis on crypto is simple. BMNR, Tom Lee told us, with every dollar that you invest in BMNR, he's able to buy $3 worth of Ethereum. So I don't think he could say that unless he could actually prove it, because the SEC would put him in freaking jail. But that's my theory on it. And remember this. Trump wants to send you out money based on the tariffs. You may get more money in tariffs. And then look at my investments, my most recent investments. Robinhood. Okay? Kudos to anybody that bought Robinhood at this 140. In a week, you're up 25%. It's at 146. Okay? Kudos to anybody who bought Coinbase with me when I said I was buying it at 300. You're at 371 right now. Yes, I'm in these. And I got this alert yesterday. Did I buy more? Not yet. Not yet, because my theory on BMNR, I've got a bunch of it already. but I put my support resistance line in there and it's around $50. If we get below that 50, I will start adding. I take a look at this one and I say, okay, if I get confirmation and we start going towards the 60s, maybe I start adding, but I've got a good base of this one. And then you've got Bitcoin starting to rally again too, hitting the 120,000 mark. So again, my point is, make sure you have a plan, make sure you have a thesis, and if you have a thesis, don't be afraid to take action. It's going to be scary. It always is buying at all-time highs, and it's hard. Buying Robinhood at $100, I think that stock's worth probably a 40 or 50 in a decent world. But the reality is the growth that they're doing, the aggressiveness that they have, and the management style that you're going to get big runs. So I like that one. Now, want to Seeking Alpha premium stuff that I really like? This was his weekly quiz. I'm a trivia geek. I don't know trivia stuff, but if you give me trivia on the market, I probably know it. This is the first. I've done 5 tests. I got a 10 out of 10 this time. 10 out of 10. So go and take the weekly test. It's going to be in the newsletter. Now, as far as scans go, I did scans. I'm going to include them. I usually don't include them in Friday's newsletter, but I didn't do any of them this week. But we have a bunch. FBCG, this is the blue chip, Fidelity blue chip ETF. You can probably find a better ETF. My dad loves this one. It's in the core portfolio if you didn't know. Okay, this one gets a buy. It's saying, hey, blue chips might be going for another run. Look at that MACD right now. Okay, if we just scroll in here, the MACD is only 0.3 points above the oscillator. And it's crossing up, bullish signal. The RSI, no man's land at 62. It's not overbought, it's not oversold. And then, are we getting ready to run again on Palo Alto Networks? This one, the 4-hour algorithm got you in here at 171. It hasn't sold. Yes, it's been sitting there at 200. Yes, I trimmed at 200 and I wound up putting that money into AMD. Why? Because when I look at a long-term chart of this one, it's hit 200 once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So again, understand the stocks that you own. All of these, the 4-hour algorithm entries, including Palantir, they will be at the end of the newsletter. And you may say, well, look, Palantir's down 5% today. Why did the 4-hour algorithm get you in? Well, it's a formula. It's a technical strategy. Okay. And you look at the strategy, it makes you 500% over the last 2 years. If you bought and held Palantir, you've made 1,200%. Your average win on this is 25%. Your average loss is 3%. You're down 4% today. So you're just above your average loss. So if you didn't get the trigger to buy it, maybe you want to look at buying it the next time. Set up an alert. Again, anything that you need is on Linktree, including Trendspider. Get it for $50 a month. You can get a trial, probably. I think even the 2-week trials are less than what you'll pay for lunch. You know, go and try it. You get my 4-hour algorithm when you sign up for an annual plan through my link. You need to use my link. And even with Seeking Alpha, the bundle, you need to use the link to get the discounts. All of those are discounted. If you want to join me on Webull, that's down there. If you want to get visible service, my phone service, this is my phone service. Great service. I get a free watch. I bought the Ultra 3 because I get a free watch on my plan. For how much? $45 a month. That includes taxes and fees. It's $45 all in. And it's the Verizon network, the best network. So again, everything is on Linktree. If you have any questions, hit me up. I will talk to you Monday. Have a good weekend. Bye. Okay, let's go to iMovie. We'll throw this one in. I haven't done the thumbnail yet. My back is hurting me today, though. Maybe because I laid around and watched the Yankees win. F you, Boston. Okay, let's colorize this one. Pull that down. Pull that down. Push that up. And I'm going to look like an Oompa Loompa again. Hoofa. Let's do the sound up. Auto. There we go.
Good morning.
Break that down. Now we're going to put in this green screen. Do, 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 do. Copy. Paste. 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 We'll put in this green screen. Copy. Paste. Paste. We'll put in this and green screen. There we go. Okay. F you, vacation guy. I say that lovingly. Let me find the title for this one. They say when I upload files with the actual that are named, the actual like title name, that it performs better. I actually, I'll give you a tip for just a promotion for AI. I started using Perplexity for the podcast titles. And Perplexity, if you go over to Spaces, they have a bunch of these kind of things, and you can go to finance and it tells you everything. But I started using it for podcast titles. And since I started using it for podcast titles, I've actually increased. So when somebody clicked, traditionally, when somebody clicked on or was shown my show on Spotfiy, like when you're scrolling up and down the homepage, if my show was shown, I think it was like 9 to 11% of the people would actually click on it and actually engage for more than 60 seconds. Since I started using Perplexity for titles, for transcripts, for things of that sort, I have increased that from 9 to 11%, up to 30 to 35%. So it depends on the week, but AI's just helped this show grow a lot. I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. But this is funny. YOLO portfolio is up 8% because, let's see, BETR. Yeah, BETR got a bid. I thought that was going to get a bid. Yeah, I thought that one was going to get a bid because when you look at the daily, it was right here at the 9-day. And I thought, okay, it's got a couple of days where the low was down there. And so you could have bought at the low 57, which was the low. And if we just look at it like a 5-minute chart, I bet it opened up at 57. Yeah. I use the free. The only things I pay for Canva Pro, which the thumbnails, which actually does a great job on YouTube, and I pay for Twitter. And the only reason I pay for Twitter is because I was going on those spaces, and I wound up being the only one without. And by the way, they want me to verify my business, but it costs $166 a month. No. They give you ad credits for it and stuff. I don't need to advertise. I've never advertised, but those are the only two things that I really pay for. And the reasons for them are simple. And I only have 4,000 followers on here. It's not like I have a bunch. I think, well, Spotfiy, God, I don't even want to say it. It's high. Yeah. But that's all I pay for. Honestly, that's it. Let me see what the title is. Wall Street Soars Top Nuclear ETFs. Let's see. I think I did more about gold. Maybe I should just title this. Yeah. Maybe I'll do this. Let's do this. We're gonna take this girl out, and oh no, undo. Oh, they've got her in here multiple times. There we go. And okay, so I have to expand this as well. I have to expand this out. And let's do this. My investment. Is that how you spell theories? Oh, I knew there was no Theo. There we go. Let's just say that. This is 81.3. And maybe I want to put the Tesla logo in there instead. Let's see how that looks. Where's the Tesla logo? There we go. Let's see how the Tesla logo looks. I hear the dog snoring. Let's just do that. Probably. Come on, give me a... Oh. No. Group. And then where is... No. Where did we have to do a... Elements... Halo? I want to do a burst. No. Let's see, we're going to do, which Gary am I going to do? We'll do this one. Why not? And position. Okay, we're going to shrink this down. Group. There we go. Put that there. And let's see. What else do I want to do? Is this done? Yeah, this is done. Okay. So I'm going to start uploading this one. Do I have new comments? Spotfiy is doing really good. Check this out just with the ChatGPT free version. What? I'm all caught up. Spotfiy is doing really good, yeah. I guess he's talking about the stock. Spotfiy. It's doing really well. I own it because I'm on it. Let's see. We're going to put in the uploads and we're going to put in Trendspider. And Seeking Alpha. And now let's see. Up elements. What else did I talk about? Robinhood uploads. Let's look at the Palantir. Let's do a one color white. Get rid of the black one. Can I save this? I guess not. Link. Apply colors to page. Translate to text. Info. I guess not. We'll do Palantir. Go back to uploads. Uber, Netflix, Finviz, Google, Microsoft, Meta, Nvidia, Amazon, Disney, Shopify, Palo Alto I talked about. Oracle, Tesla. Might as well put put Tesla up there. Put this one. Walmart, Snowflake, Webull, Rocket Lab, Oklo. Put this one up there. AlphaPix. Put this up there. Novo Nordisk, Octo, Fubo, IONQ, Rigetti, Robinhood, Grab, Coinbase, Perplexity. Let's do one color on Perplexity. One color. Apply. There we go. Boom. I think that's good. Share, download. Have a great weekend vacation, guy. I'm actually going to get out of here. Nobody's asking questions. So, Apple is up. QQQ is even. Shopify's way up, 5%. That's a great one. Man, that's a buy the dip. 148 yesterday in the afternoon. Hasn't fully covered this gap down, but I've said it before. It's going back to all-time highs. That is a all-time high. So still has room to run. Okay, I'm out of here. You guys have a great weekend. See you. Bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.